Hi, this is Jason Palmisano, founder and CEO of Trinity Fitness. I'm here with world surfing champion CJ Hobgood. This is an amazing, thank you for your time, CJ. And a little bit about CJ. He's 17 years out in the pro surfing career. He, in 2001, won the world championship, rated #1 in the world, and for a decade has been rated in the top 10 surfers in the world. So again, thank you so much for doing this little interview with me. My friend, some questions for you. Tell us what has been some of the surfing highlights throughout your life.
Surfing highlights. We're in Florida right now, and a nice cool breeze is blowing on us. It feels
Pretty
quite
crazy.
nice.
And we're actually at a Wild at Heart boot camp,
Yeah.
of all places. So we want to talk about that. But I thought we would maybe get a little bit of an intro into who you are and what you've done, kind of what's your background. I mean, gosh, you've had this tremendous surfing career that probably a lot of people would envy. But I want to kind of peel back those layers and get to know, CJ Hobgood. And so I thought, what are some of those moments out there in this 17-year career that are really highlights for you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you touched on it, obviously, with the 17 years. Like, look, it's definitely hard to do something for a decade. Anything, whether it's Trinity Fitness. How long's that been going for?
10 years.
10 years.
I'm
okay.
at it right now, bro.
So you've gotten to a point where if you're able to do a relationship with your daughter, a relationship with your wife, like a relationship with anything, like it's spanning over some things I've been hanging on to. It's like we fully live in the day, but can only be measured in the decade. Like there's things that we do in this life that can only be measured in the decade. So I was able to be on tour for 17 years, which is long enough for there to be some fruit as far as having relationships with people and hopefully loving up on them, in a way where maybe they haven't experienced or I haven't been able to explore myself. You're competing against people, but then you get to the beach, you gotta love up on them. Like, how do you do those things, And the fact that I was able to, hopefully practice that for some time, and really enjoy those sort of desires of my heart there, is led us to this place, this, Wild at Heart Ransom boot camp that we're here, which is ultimately investing in men,
Right,
and
right.
like it's telling our story, whether it's your story with Trinity Fitness, how you got through 10 years, and how it's set up, and some things that obviously I was asking you about and pretty intrigued about. But yeah, look, that's what's brought us here, and ultimately that's why we're hitting the record button.
That's right. And what's interesting to me is that here I ask you a question. Right? You're rated #1 in the world in surfing, and so you're at the pinnacle at one point in your career. And I ask you, what's been the highlight for you? And I'm thinking, if you were to ask a football player that, they would say this championship or that ring or this play or that moment, where you very easily could have said that. But because I'm sure you have 100 of those, but what I'm really impressed with was that you said, really the highlight for me has been finding ways to love people and to share your heart, to love people, and that's been really important to you. And so what about your life makes that so? Because that's not the norm.
So, that's a great question. Like, and I don't know if this is going to answer the question, but since we're sort of in this moment right now, there's been a couple conversations that I've had before coming here, and we're in a part of Florida that I've never even been in. So to actually say here, I don't know. It's not Ocala. We're near Gainesville.
I can't even pronounce the name of the
What's the
town. Where
name?
it's
Yeah,
like
okay.
Okawawa
Yeah.
or something.
It's something. So we're in a place in Florida I've never been. But to get context with that is like I was telling people, like, dude, I'm really excited. Like, I'm really excited to come here. I don't know if you felt that too, but and I'm sure you did. But like, there's things where you can just go, I'm really excited. I don't even know what is stirring in my heart that makes me so excited. But and there's, so that doesn't fully answer your question, but there's a lot of those moments that has always sort of happened, you know, whether it was big waves, whether it was competing against someone else, whether it was surfing small waves. Like, what is stirring in my heart that these desires, and, you know, God designed me this way, that makes me really excited, makes me feel alive, you know, and that's change. It's never a constant thing there. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, and I'm really enjoying it, you know. And you could ask me that question 15 years ago, and I'd have been like, I don't know, just rocking up to Hawaii when it looks like it's too big, and I gotta go try it. You know, I gotta see if I have what it takes on that day, you know. And those are things that would stir me at that time, you know. And
what about you picks a person over a wave to be a highlight of your life?
Well, I mean, God gave me the gift to surf, right? He gave me that gift. I personally don't believe he would take that away from me, no matter how bad I blow it. Whether I said I love Satan and I'm an atheist, I don't feel like he would take that gift away from me. So I haven't done that, but I feel like he gave me that gift. So there's, and the point of that whole story is there's nothing for me to boast about, right? So if that gift is the vehicle to talk to people and to invite them into my story and sort of see what's going on in their life, you know, and just talk on those terms, and that's and surfing's the vehicle. Well, then, like, I mean, I'd love to sort of tell you how great the car was, but man, the conversations that the people that entered into that car was better than the car itself, you know. So and I don't know, maybe those are good or bad analogies, but like, yeah, it's just and the fact that, you know, surfing has allowed me to go around the world and see God's beauty has helped to set me free. And so that's what we're talking about here.
Right. That's exactly right. We're talking about the adventure, what we're created for. You mentioned your faith in that, and how God has given you the gift and put kind of an adventurous spirit in your heart. Would you mind sharing how your relationship with the Lord started?
You know, there's sort of two things that I've experienced, and the cool things I've experienced both, you know, right? So like, I was Catholic. It was very religious. It was very, you know, yeses and nos, do's and don'ts, like regimented rules, all that sort of stuff. There's really is the opposite of a relationship, right? So, no relationship, straight religion. Hey God, dude, just if you make me the best surfer in the world, like if you put me on tour, if you do this, and everything I would ask for, he gave me, right? So then I got somewhat to the top, and I went, that sucks. There's no relationship there. Like, I've asked for these things, you've given them to me, right? And then, so that started the shift in the sort of a relationship, and really asking him to deliver me. Like, there's nothing in this. This is false. This is not what I expected, you know. And then another thing happened so the relationship starts to build. I asked Jesus into my life, and then it all goes south, you know. Then I lose my wife, I lose my kids, I'm on tour, like, then I have a relationship with God. Everything is just freaking buried, takes a nosedive, I blow it up, whatever words you want to use, and I called on him even harder in those moments. So there's a high and there's a low where I called on Jesus to save me from this way I was feeling, and these things that were happening, and I wanted freedom, you know. I wanted out of them, and deliver me, you know, and restore me, and that's the path that I've been on, man. You know, and then that I'll cook, I blow it, I flail. We all hear those things, but there is restoration that's happening in that, and it's light. It's not bondage. There's freedom, and yes, I go back to a lot of my, you know, self-doctrine at times, but it's, for the most part, that's that's slowly getting peeled back and removed, and I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're well. Thank you for sharing that. I know that would resonate with a lot of folks. I know it does me. And so, and I don't want to take up a ton of your time. So let's round out the conversation with kind of where we started, which is right where we're at now. We're at this Wild at Heart boot camp, and it is all about these wounds, because we do have, every one of us has wounds, things that scar our lives and mark our lives, that if we don't deal with these issues, somehow don't get healing from them.
We live in the world. It's impossible not to have those scars. We live in this world. We're going to have the scars.
Yeah,
we're going to have the wounds.
Agreed. A fallen world,
Yep.
a sinful world. We're part of that, and we get
And we're
scarred
in
up.
it.
It's a battle, and
We're
so
in
you
it.
get battle scars.
Yep.
What about what about this weekend brought you here, and what are some of the things that you're getting out of that are really most meaningful for you at this Wild at Heart boot camp?
Well, first of all, the opportunity to invest in other men, as people have invested in me.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty noble purpose, right? It's like I said, people have done for me, so it's a battle worth fighting, and I really enjoy that. But you know what? It's just, it's pulling back the veil. It's lifting up the skirt, for lack of better words, and sort of understanding what the narrative is here, what we are being called into, the enemy don't like that.
Right.
He is trying to keep, and the world, it's convenient, right? The world, it's supposed to be convenient, right? We're supposed to drive through Starbucks. We're supposed to order my stuff on my app, my food. I'm supposed to have it sent to my house. The world's convenient, right? And but it absolutely is not.
Yeah.
It's not convenient at all. And so there's, and I bring that, just getting the narrative right and understanding, and allows there to be so much hope in the brokenness, because it's still going to be that. We're in the road, right? So, and that's what we're looking for, man. I constantly would look at okay, there's two girls, right? This girl just got broken up with her boyfriend. This girl's getting married tomorrow, right? But they're both standing right there, and they're both similar situations. One's really bummed and one's really freaking happy, right?
Yeah, right.
So, but there's not much that's changed there, right? So, but that narrative of us being, the bridegroom, man, that God has for us. It's we could be stoked like that bride, all the time, and dude, we're just scratching the surface.
Right.
I know. I'm just going I don't even know what the fullness is.
Right.
You don't know what the fullness is. We're tapping into some stuff that's we're just going, okay, cool. I've seen little glimpses. I've seen some little fruit here and there.
Right.
Whoa, this is pretty cool. And that's sort of where we're going.
Right.
But bro, don't ask me too much beyond that.
No, I'm with you. I think it's about, what we're, one of the things about this weekend is learning that everybody has a story, and the story does have scars and wounds, and so how can we redeem that? What are the healing qualities in that, and the fact that these hearts, these souls, we were created with a masculine soul, but yet life kind of buries and strips away the adventurous side of who the man is, and this is about recapturing that. And when you and I discover who we really are, then every day is an adventure. And and one of the things that resonates and resounds from you, from back in surfing till now, even to our first question, what were the highlights? Well, it's just connecting with people and pouring into their lives. Well, why are you here? Well, I want to invest in other guys and men. So your life seems to be all about investing in others, and I love that. I think that is a life well worth living, and it's a life that stems from a deep faith thank you for sharing that part
Yeah,
with
but
us.
and I appreciate that, but it ain't no different than Trinity. I
Mhm.
mean, that's what Trinity was founded on, and,
Yeah.
and those things. How can we invest in them?
That's
you know?
it. That's
Like, look, if freaking lifting some weights, it ain't no different than riding a piece of foam on the water, right? Like,
That's right.
I mean, like we're not. It's not too far off here.
Right, right,
we
right.
we can muddy it or separate as much as we want, but
Yeah.
it's yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think if we can use what God gave us to reach other people to make an impact in this world, there's a life of influence, a life of impact. That's a life well lived. And so thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Appreciate
your
it, bud.
time. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys, thanks for listening in. Dream big, pray bold, trust God.